Hello everyone. Today is the live session 7 for Modern Indian Architecture. This is an NPTEL course. The course instructor for this course is Professor Prabhajit Singh Chani. He is a professor at IIT Roorkee. I am Shreya Shukla. I am the course TA for NPTEL for this course. Today we will be doing week 7 assignment. This is our 7th session today. We will wait now for 5 to 10 minutes for others to join, and then we will start the session. Hi everyone, there is just a technical glitch. I'm just figuring it out. I'll share the screen very soon. Yeah. So we will start with the session now. I'm so sorry for any of the problem that has been caused and any of the delay that has been caused. So again, hello everyone. My name is Shreya, and I am uh, going to do today week 7 assignment 7 for today. Um, for the course Modern Indian Architecture. So we will start. So the course outline is that this course talked about what is modern Indian architecture. Indian architecture in today's time, basically it means, and the entire course has covered the evolution of modern architecture in India from pre-independence to the present time. And the evolution was seen through various modern trends, building typologies covering many buildings over a span of nearly a century, and of many architects who have made a significant contribution to the development of modern Indian architecture. This is the timeline that has been followed in this course uh, from pre-independence to 21st century. So currently in week 7 were some part of critical regionalism and some part of high-rise building is being was covered in week 7. So critical regionalism was covered mainly in week 6, and in week 7 two parts of critical regionalism lectures are done, and then post-liberalization including the high-rise buildings and the rise of high-rise buildings in India. The objective of this course is the evolution of modern architecture, understanding the evolution of modern architecture via structure, function and form. Individual works of iconic architects to understand their design approach, various forces impacting modern Indian architecture, upcoming concepts like buildings such as energy efficiency, green buildings, seismic safety, software tools, new technologies, materials and construction techniques. And then concepts and ideas about various building typologies which students can apply directly in their design studios. Sorry, it's 7 syllabus. So the week 7 syllabus was Critical Regionalism Indian Architecture Part 4 and Part 5. And then the works of Mahendra Raj, Structure, the works of Mahendra Raj. Actually the Structure, the works of Mahendra Raj is a book which was written by his son and his daughter-in-law. His son was an architect. Mahendra Raj was a structural engineer. And then 2 lectures on point blocks and high rises, part 1 and part 2. So without any further ado, we will start with our questions for today. Number 1, this architect was awarded highest French distinction, Knight of the Legion Honor in 2016. Laurie Baker, Raj Rewal, B.V. Doshi and Rahul Malhotra. So it was Raj Rewal. The answer is Raj Rewal. I will just quickly talk about his life and his achievement and his notable works for you to get a better grasp on a few facts about Raj Rewal. Raj Rewal was born on 24 November 1934. He is one of the leading Indian architects. He Between 1951 and 54, he attended the Delhi School of Architecture in New Delhi. After completing a degree in architecture in New Delhi, he moved to London in 1955, where he lived until 1961. He attended the Architectural Association School of Architecture for 1 year and the Brixton School of Building, London, from 1956 to 1960. Rajrewal worked at Michel Icocard's office in Paris before starting his practice in New Delhi in 1962. Between 1963 and 1972, he taught at the School of Planning and Architecture, Delhi. Among his better known projects are the Hall of Nation at Pragati Maidan, which was demolished in 2017, Asiad Village Complex, National Institute of Immunology, New Delhi. In 1986, he became the curator and in 1986 he became the curator of the exhibition Traditional Architecture of India in India for the Government of India organized Festival of India in Paris. He also designed an architectural college, SIUPA, in Rohtak and is head of members in academic council. In 2018, his drawings and models were added to the New York Museum of Modern Art permanent collection, making him the first Indian architect represented there. There are two monographs on Rajrewal's work, and his firm has worked on projects in India, Iran, China, France, and Portugal. The diverse design portfolio of Rajrewal's firm includes Pragati Maidan Exhibition Complex, New Delhi, French Embassy Staff Quarters, New Delhi, Sheikh Sarai Housing for Delhi Development Authority, New Delhi, Asian Games Village, New Delhi, National Institute of Immunology, New Delhi, British High Commission Housing, New Delhi, Scope Office Complex, New Delhi, World Bank Regional Mission, New Delhi, Central Institute of Technology, New Delhi, the International Center for Genetic Engineering and Biology, New Delhi, National Center for Biological Sciences, Bangalore, Strait Trading Corporation Complex, New Delhi, Parliament Library Complex, New Delhi, the Grape City, a Japanese software center, Noida, Ismaili Center, Lisbon, Portugal. Including his achievements, he was awarded gold medal 1989 by the Indian Institute of Architects, IIA. Robert Matthew awarded 1989 by the Commonwealth Association of Architects. Mexican Association of Architects Award in 1993 for regional values. Architect of the Year 1994 award by JK Trust for the design of World Bank Resident Mission Building in New Delhi. Great Masters Award 1995 by JK Trust for lifetime contribution to modern architecture in the post-independence era in India. Lifetime Achievement Award 2001 by the Institution of Engineers, India. IBC Award 2002 by the Indian British Congress for Excellence in Built Environment for Parliament Library Building, New Delhi. Golden Architect Award 2003 by A+D and Spectrum Foundation. Chevalier des Arts Lace Letters Award 2005 by the French government. Knight of the Legion of Honor, again by the French government. John Michael Kohler Lifetime Achievement Award. So the answer is Rajrewal. This architect was awarded the highest stretch distinction, which is the Knight of the Legion of Honor in 2016. Question number 2. In 1974, Rajrewal started his second architectural office in this city. So I tried to search a lot more information on this. It's only been showed that he established his architectural office in Tehran. His first office was in Delhi, but his second office was established in Tehran. However, I did not find any other details regarding that, like what projects he did in Tehran, how does his office building look like, where is it located. I could not find the other information, so I was not able to add that. So the answer is Tehran. In 1974, he started his second architectural office in Tehran. He has done a few projects in Iran, but I could not find more information on that. I will try to search more on it, and maybe some books would have some documentation on it. I could not find anything specifically on Google. Question number 3. Mughal Sheraton Agra, ITC Mughal, is the work of Myphogenesis, MOFA, Arcop Design Group, Vastushilp Consultants. Mughal Sheraton, Agra, ITC Mumbai. It was constructed in 1979. The Mughal Sheraton Hotel was designed by Arcop Design Group, a firm which was specially formed for this purpose by merging two firms, the Arcop Montreal, which is headed by architect Ramesh Khosla, and the Design Group New Delhi, headed by architects Ranjit Sabiki, Ajay Chaudhary. And then these two firms were combined for the construction of this hotel, and the combined firm is called Arcop Design Group. Apart from these, architect Ravindra Bhan was involved in landscape design and Anil Verma was involved in interior design. The campus of Mughal Sheraton is spread over an irregular shaped plot of about 5 hectares. It is located 1.6 km from the Taj Mahal and 3 km from the Agra Fort. The hotel consists of 290 guest rooms, 4 restaurants, 2 conference rooms, a health club, recreational facilities, shopping arcade, and necessary support facilities. The resort believes in the perception of luxury with a conscience. Its planet positive policies and practices are embedded in its daily operations. Renewable energy is harnessed, water is recycled and reused to prevent wastage, solid waste is recycled, and a sizable proportion of ingredients are sourced locally. This LEED Platinum and LEED Zero Carbon certified resort consumes significantly less energy than the benchmark specified by the EPA USA for large-sized luxury hotels. The interiors of this hotel are marked by high ceilings, large windows, and to afford a view of the Taj or the landscape gardens. The arches, lattice-like patterns, cornices, floors of white marble, slate and red sandstone instantly evoke images of Mughal palaces. This project was also a recipient of Aga Khan Award. The whole campus of this ITC Agra is sprawled over Sheraton Mughal Sheraton, sprawled over 93,000 square meter of Mughal style gardens with the characteristic use of water channels, fruit trees, flowers, and shaded walkways. The resort is a fitting tribute to the great Mughal builders of the past. Experience of Taj Mahal plus Fatehpur Sikri is closely considered in design, but the architects avoided any attempts to copy their unique forms of details. Red sandstone building blocks of Fatehpur Sikri and white marble from the quarries of Taj Mahal were used in public areas. So this entire hotel has been inspired from the Mughal architecture. It was a tribute to the Mughal builders of the past, and they have closely taken inspiration from a lot of features of Taj Mahal and Fatehpur Sikri. Even the gardens in this hotel have been inspired from Mughal style gardens. The hotel complex is organized into blocks separated according to function. A central block houses all public spaces and administration. Services are grouped in an adjacent block to the west, directly accessible to the service yard. The guest rooms are organized around 3 courtyards in 2-story quadrangles. They are linked to each other and to the central public block by enclosed pedestrian bridges. Pedestrian bridges is one of the aspects that has come from Bauhaus actually. It was also used by A.P. Kanvinde in IIT Kanpur, and it was used in this hotel resort also. The courts are gradually excavated to a level of 12 feet below grade by a series of landscape terraces, pools, fountains that act as buffer zones between private rooms and common areas. A formal Mughal garden on axis with the Taj Mahal provides a vista for the central building and serves as the focal point of the walkways. This hotel was designed to provide a luxurious Mughal experience in order to boost the economy of Agra. And the designing principles are modernist. However, there have been great inspiration from the Mughal architecture features. The hotel is conceived as an oasis in the hot and dusty environment of Agra. All guest rooms are oriented to take advantage of the cooling effects of the pools and gardens. Those facing north and south have bay windows, while those facing east and west have deeply recessed windows for protection from the sun. Thick brick masonry walls, together with thick plantation around the complex, also help in cutting off the heat of the sun. Most of the common areas in the public block have high ceilings and large windows to assure a view of the Taj Mahal and landscape courts on the campus. These windows have been provided only in the north and east facades and are sheltered from the direct sun by a double wall system consisting of a masonry screen wall wrapped around the primary concrete frame structure. The south and west facades have been kept largely blank so that uh, the sun penetration can be controlled. The hotel was designed to avoid unnecessary dependence upon the foreign technologies, basing the structure and construction technology on the materials and skills readily available in the region at the time of construction. The basic structure for guest rooms is load-bearing masonry walls supporting concrete slabs. The central block of public spaces, the pedestrian bridges, and the service block, all of which require longer spans, are concrete frame structures with concrete waffle slabs. Brick has been used as infill and as facing on the concrete. The Mughal Sheraton Hotel, while modern in its vocabulary with forms and shapes derived from its functional use, expresses the culture and rich architectural traditions of the region. Basic structural elements of Mughal architecture have been revitalized and integrated in the complex. A sense of strength and grandeur, a contrast between inside and outside, a highly developed and sophisticated approach to the use of landscaping and water, open spaces and garden, light and air as an integral part of the built form. So this is what I was saying, that it is a modern building because of its form, shape, and it being designed in the sense of functional use. However, it has a strong expression of architectural Mughal architecture, which includes the Mughal style gardens, the use of red sandstone, the use of the white marble from the same quarry from which Taj Mahal was from which the marble from Taj Mahal was brought on, and then the principles of strength and grandeur, lush green gardens, a contrast between outside and inside, and open spaces, light and air, and all these concepts which are very common in Mughal architecture have also been combined in this building. So the answer is Mughal Sheraton, Agra is the work of Arcop Design Group. Question number 4. The public areas of Mughal Sheraton, Agra, ITC, used marble from the same quarries which had provided marble to this building. Taj Mahal, Lincoln Memorial, Washington, Leaning Tower of Pisa, Pisa, none of the above. So as we have just read about it, the answer is Taj Mahal, of course. So the white marbles are used in the public areas are from the same quarries as Taj Mahal, which are used in hotels' public areas. So our answer is Taj Mahal, Agra. Question number 5. This building by Charles Correa classifies as a subterranean structure. Excuse me. साबरमती आश्रम अहमदाबाद, कंचनजंगा अपार्टमेंट्स मुंबई, भारत भवन भोपाल, सरदार वल्लभ भाई पटेल स्टेडियम अहमदाबाद. What is a subterranean structure? So, a subterranean structure is a natural or man-made structure where all or part is below of a building is below ground level or covered, where people can resort for work or pleasure. This concept was once used in order to create caves, refugees, tunnels as an answer for the most primitive needs, and now it is used as a style of architecture. So, what happens in subterranean structure or subterranean architecture is that the structures or the buildings are either semi under the ground or a little more under the ground, and these buildings can be for anything, for work or for pleasure. So Bharat Bhavan is a subterranean structure. Bharat Bhavan is a multi-art center and museum set up to create an interactive proximity between the verbal, visual and performing arts. It was inaugurated by Indira Gandhi on 13th February 1982. Uh, it is established and financed by Government of Madhya Pradesh and run on an autonomous trust. It was designed by the architect Charles Correa. It is one of his most celebrated works. It was opened in 1982, facing the upper lake of Bhopal. It houses multiple art galleries, a graphic printing shop, a ceramic workshop, open air amphitheater, a studio theater, an auditorium, a museum of tribal and folk art, libraries of Indian poetry, classical music and folk music, studio for an artist in residence. The design of Bharat Bhavan complex is a product of Korea's vision to establish a modern architectural style specific to India and distinct from European models. Bharat Bhavan is an example of critical regionalism, which is one of Korea's most celebrated things. Drawing on the plentiful source material provided by the rich architectural heritage of his home country at Bharat Bhavan, Korea produced a building for the modern era which manages to also remain firmly rooted in the vernacular traditions of India's past. Built onto a hillside with slopes down towards a lake, a series of terraces and courtyards comprise the complex. So, Bharat Bhavan is located on the slope side. It's located right next to the upper lake Bhopal, and it is located on a slopey side. And the building has been designed such that when you go through Bharat Bhavan, you enter at a higher level, and while you keep going through the Bharat Bhavan to the end point of the complex, you keep going down below with series of terraces, staircases, and courtyards, and you go down to that point. And it is a structure that complements not only the climate of the region of Bhopal but also the topography of that region, because the topography around that place is all sloping. So to respecting that topography and respecting the climate, this structure has been designed. And because of it being a subterranean structure, that half of the body is underground or you can say submerged, there is no elevation to this building. It's actually there. This building can only be explained with the help of sections. There are no elevations to this building. Upon entering, the visitor has the choice of following the path of terraces cascading down to the lake, or descending to the three courtyards which provide access to the majority of the cultural facilities. From the courtyards, while white glass paneled openings to the buildings ensure the arts program is both literally and figuratively accessible to all. At the bottom of the site sits an amphitheater where open air performances take place with the lake forming a natural background. The route through the terraces encourage movement down the site's natural gradient, with the courtyards providing tranquil spaces for rest and relaxation. The dialogue between these two components creates an ebb and flow of energy around the complex in what Korea described as a ritualistic pathway. The ritual of following a sacred pathway is what he claims, a universal impulse found in all cultures and religion. Korea emphasized the spirituality of his own pathways by drawing parallels with those found in religious architecture including the Sun Temple of Mexico and the Hindu temples of Bali, with their ritualistic pathways up the hillside. This is a section of Bharat Bhavan. As you can see how the structure building goes down various levels. At Bharat Bhavan, the flights of stairs between the terrace reference and terrace references, Indian terraces reference traditional Indian architecture while implying the sanctity of the pathway. The stairs are reminiscent of ghats, steps found in Indian cities which lead down to a body of holy water, just as Korea steps guide the pedestrians to the lakeside. Indeed, Korea cited the bathing ghats on the bank of the river Ganga at Varanasi as a stylistic influence. At Bharat Bhavan, the steps guide the pedestrians to the lakeside, the religious connotations emphasizing the sacred nature of this pathway. So he has taken his inspiration of this ritualistic pathway from various cultures, from various examples. For example, the sun temples of Mexico, the Hindu temples of Bali, and then the idea of providing so many steps. If you see in this image, the idea of providing these many steps, he has taken this inspiration from the Ghats of Varanasi, which shows how his, even though this building is a modern building with its functionality, with its form, with its but the ideologies are somewhere rooted in the culture, tradition, and vernacular architecture of India. This building is climate responsive. This building is culturally significant to India because this was designed to represent Indian culture. So he has taken his inspirations from those points. Rather than importing the sealed boxes of European architecture necessitated by the colder western climate, instead Korea created open to sky spaces. So when he said that he is trying to create a modern architecture which is suitable for India, he meant this because European countries or other western countries where modernism flourished before, these countries have cold climates, and because of which the buildings that emerged in these places were mostly sealed boxes. But in India, we have different kinds of climates all around the country. And in most of the places throughout India, we have either hot and humid climate or warm and humid climate or hot and dry climates. So Korea observed, so Korea tried to create a lot of open to sky spaces because of this. Because he observed that in warm climate, the best place to be in the late evenings and in the early mornings is outdoors under the open sky. The sunken courtyards at Bharat Bhavan provide shade from the scorching midday sun, while the raised terraces offer refreshing air and space at cooler times of day. This climate control solution was lifted directly from India's architectural history, inspired by the courtyards and terraces of the Red Fort at Agra. So when he says that he has taken inspiration from a lot of from our Indian history, another inspiration is from the Red Fort of Agra. Red Fort has a lot of terraces, so he has taken that inspiration from there. At Bharat Bhavan, the intention is that those emerging from the galleries to the courtyards undergo a similarly dramatic spatial experience. The sky is even incorporated into the interior spaces of the site with concrete shells atop the structure, allowing light and air to pour in through the circular openings. From the exterior, these shells seem to reinterpret another feature of India's architectural vocabulary, the decorative chhatris, umbrellas, which originally sat atop Rajasthani palaces. So, in these gallery spaces, which are mostly underground, he has given these shell kind of structures, uh, which he is saying is an inspiration from the chhatris. However, these chhatris usually are not open. However, there's these shells are open from top, which is acting like an oculus and lets the light and air both in inside the gallery spaces and other spaces in this entire complex. The outdoor spaces at Bharat Bhavan are physical manifestations of the concept of empty space, a recurring theme both in India's visual culture and, in particular, its philosophy. Away from the activity within the buildings, the courtyards provide a contemplative void enhanced by the placing of sculptures in their center. These act as meditative focal points for the viewer, much like solitary tree often found in the center of Japanese courtyards. Korea's characteristic use of the void as an architectural tool has been widely described as non-building. So the answer is this building by Charles Korea classifies as a subterranean structure. The answer is Bharat Bhavan, Bhopal. Excuse me. Which among the following is not a work of Mahendra Raj? Hall of Nations, New Delhi; Salarjung Museum, Hyderabad; Tagore Memorial Hall, Ahmedabad; Lotus Temple, New Delhi. Mahendra Raj, born in 1924 and died on 8 May 2022, he was an Indian structural engineer and designer who contributed to structural design of many buildings in India. Mahendra Raj studied civil engineering in Lahore in 1946. He joined the Punjab Works Department Buildings and Roads and steadily rose to the position of executive engineer. Upon the partition of Pakistan and India, Mahendra Raj moved to India. Raj's work is considered pioneering for its engineering solutions for exposed concrete buildings, and much of his work is seen as telling the story of post-independence India. In a career spanning 6 decades, he collaborated with architects including Le Corbusier, Achyut Kanwande, Joseph Allen Stein, B.V. Doshi, Louis Icahn, Charles Korea, Ranjit Sabiki, Ajay Chaudhary, Raj Rewal, Kuldeep Singh, along with whom he shaped the modern Indian architecture that we study today and contributed. And through this, he contributed to the structural design for more than 250 projects. Mahendra Raj is the finest example when it comes to understand the merger of architecture and engineering. His first work in India was with Le Corbusier and his journey to construct Chandigarh, India's planned city. Later, after learning that India lacked education related to structural design, he moved to America to pursue a master's degree in Minnesota and then to Columbia University for a postgraduate degree. After seeking the degrees, he moved to New York and joined Aman and Whitney, consulting engineers till 1959. Here, he was able to work on famous structures like Eero Saarinen's TWA building. In 1960, Mahendra Raj decided to move back to India and start his practice, which is known as Mahendra Raj Consultants Private Limited. After returning to India, his first project was a temporary structure designed in the 1961 Industrial Fair in Delhi, the Hindustan Lever Pavilion. Mahendra Raj's career was defined by the great period of India's post-independence modernization, which saw vast construction opportunities that changed the face of the young country. In the exhibition, a quote by Raj Rival reads, Mahendra Raj has carried the whole modern Indian architecture on his shoulders. My interaction with him was like a jugalbandi that has helped me enhance and execute my vision. Notable works of Mahendra Raj, the Hall of Nations, New Delhi; Hindustan Lever Pavilion, New Delhi; Salwapur Church, Mumbai; Sri Ram Center for Performing Arts, New Delhi; Akbar Hotel, New Delhi; Ahmedabad Municipal Stadium; Salarjung Museum, Hyderabad; Indian Institute of Management, Bangalore; Tagore Hall, Ahmedabad; Flower Market, Madras; Solar Pavilion, Madhya Pradesh; Scope Complex, New Delhi; Premhabai Hall, Ahmedabad; Vidhan Bhavan, Bhopal; British Council Library, New Delhi; National Science Centre, New Delhi; Gandhi Memorial Hall, New Delhi; DCM Pavilion, New Delhi. Our answer is Lotus Temple, New Delhi. So, Hall of Nations, New Delhi by Raj Rewal. Mahendra Raj was the structural engineer for all three projects. Hall of Nations, New Delhi. Salar Jung Museum, Hyderabad, Tagore Memorial Hall, Ahmedabad. Coming to question number 7. In the Hall of Nations, Mahendra Raj used this as a basic design module. Geodesic dome, geometry of pyramid, truncated icosahedron, cut cylindry. Hall of Nations. So, Hall of Nations was an exhibition hall that was inaugurated in 1972 as part of the Pragati Maidan complex in New Delhi, India. It was built to celebrate the 25 years of the Indian independence. It is designed by architect Raj Rival, who went on to win the gold medal of the Indian Institute of Architects in 1989. It was inaugurated by Indira Gandhi for the India International Trade Fair. It is 144 feet in length and up to 19 feet in height, and at the time the world's first and largest span space frame structure built in reinforced concrete. It was part of group of 4 halls of varying sizes and each interconnected by a system of ramps. The building was demolished in 2017 along with the hall number 1 to 6, 14 to 20 state pavilions, key neighboring structures like the Hall of Industries and the Nehru Pavilion to make way for a new exhibition and convention center. The structure of Hall of Nations is a space frame structure. It is rigid, lightweight, truss-like structure constructed using interlocking struts in a geometric pattern. So space frame is basically a 3D lattice or a 3D truss. So it is like different struts that are there in a truss. When you create a 3D lattice or a 3D structure out of those struts, it creates a space frame. So the Hall of Nation is a space frame, but it is a concrete space frame. Hall of Nations is based on a tetrahedral geometry. The geometry of pyramid is used as a basic module. In fact, a truncated pyramid. A truncated pyramid in the sense that a pyramid, a tetrahedron is supposed has equal 4 triangular sides with a square base. That's what a tetrahedron looks like, and that's what a pyramid is supposed to be. However, when you cut a section over the top and you do not have the top portion, then it's a truncated pyramid. That means a section has been cut and this part only remains. So it's a truncated pyramid. The layout of the permanent exhibition complex demarcates the Hall of Nation as a vast square in plan with 8 openings of pivoted steel gates accessed by staircases and ramps under which facilities have been inserted. The main pavilion of the Hall of Nations has a clear span of 78 meters and a height varying from 3 meters to 21 meters, thereby providing a vast capacity for items to be exhibited from books to bulldozers. During the design development, the structure demanded a lot of steel frames. But with the market where steel was scarce, Raj Rival and Mahendra Raj took the opportunity to explore the precast concrete elements. So, because of the lack of presence of steel in Indian market, they went with the idea of using precast concrete 3D lattice of this, and at that time it was world's first and world's largest span space frame built in concrete. Steel was used in a lot of parts of the world, but this being built in concrete, it was world's first structure like that. The design was evolved to meet the constraints of time, availability of materials and labor, but above all to reflect symbolically and technologically India's intermediate technology in the 25th year of its independence. So, of course, this design evolved because of the constraints of time and the availability of materials and labor. But most importantly, at that point in India, the technology what we had, this building reflected that what we had at that time. The world was growing at a different pace, but at the 25th year of our independence, what we had available in that time in India, that was used in the construction of this building, and that is what this building represents. Space frame, both structure and breeze story. So the space frame structure, this is space frame of concrete, is both a structure and a breeze story. And Mughal jali work with geometry and hexagon and tari. And also there is inspiration from Mughal jali work with the geometry of hexagons and triangles. The depth of the structural system of the tradition was utilized as a sunbreaker and conceived of in terms of the traditional jali, a geometrical pattern of perforation that serves to obstruct direct rays of the harsh sun while performing air circulation. So, because this structure is supposed to be a tetrahedron, so it will have a width, and because the width is good enough in size, which is helping this space frame structure, that this width is helping as a sunbreaker or a bistoli. Secondly, on one part of this structure, the triangular parts, if you can see in this image, you can see the different patterns of jali work, which is again helping in cutting the harsh sun rays. The truncated pyramid of Hall of Nation is composed of smaller pyramids, 4.9 meter by 4.9 meter base and 3.5 meter height, which form 73 meter and 73 meter pyramid, truncated at 30 meter height with roof span 39 meter by 39 meter. Basic pyramid sides of base and triangles are equal, and it generates a slope of 54 degree 44 minutes and 8 seconds. So the answer is that in the Hall of Nations, Mahendra Raj used geometry of pyramid as a basic design module. Moving on to the next question. The smaller pyramid module used in Hall of Nations is approximately 4.9 meter across 4.9 meter base and 3.5 meter height, 9 meter across 9 meter base and 9 meter height, 3.2 meter and 3.2 meter base and 6 meter height, to 7.2 meter and 7.2 meter base and 12 meter height. So we just learned in this slide just before it that the truncated pyramid is composed of smaller pyramids of 4.9 meter and 4.9 meter and 3.5 meter height, and when it is completely added, it leads to a 30 meter height structure with a base of 73 meter cross 73 meter. So the answer is 4.9 meter cross 4.9 meter base and 10.5 meter height. Question number 9. The trusses used in STC building by Rajrewal are called bowstring trusses, king post trusses, Virendeel trusses, lenticular trusses. So what is STC building? So State Trading Corporation building, or the STC building, also known as Jawahar Vyapar Bhavan in New Delhi, India. It was designed by the architect Rajrewal and is home to the government-owned State Trading Corporation of India. 2,20,000 square meter for offices, hotels, cinema, museum, art gallery, OAT shops. Built between 1976 and 1989, it is considered to be a very important example of modernist architecture in post-independence India. The structurally expressive design employs Virendeel trusses. Apart from offices, the buildings house the Central Cottage Industries Emporium, a government-run store that retails Indian crafts products. The structurally expressive design employs Virendale trusses. These trusses are made up of rectangular rather than triangular frames. The structural system is the basis of the architectural form. Turned external wall of alternate floor Virendale trusses. So every alternate floor in this building was a Virendale truss. And if you can see in this image, this is an image of during construction phase. So you can clearly see these cantilever trusses over there, which are joining the two towers. And also you can see the cantilever trusses like balcony shapes from there too. Windows were placed in the holes of these trusses. Building uh, towers were 23, 18 and 12 story towers. It is supposed to be 18 to 20 meter cast in situ piles supported on 18 to 20 meter cast in situ piles. Virendale trusses cantilevering 60 meter each end, supported on service shafts located 23 meter apart. Permits column free spaces, flexible internal planning. So, uh, what is a Virendale truss? Virendale truss is a structure where members are not triangulated but form rectangular openings, and it is a frame with fixed joints that are capable of transferring and resisting bending moments. As such, it does not fit the strict definition of a truss since it contains non-two force members. The regular trusses comprise members that are commonly assumed to have pinned joints. This style of architecture was named after Belgian engineer Arthur Virendale, who developed the design in 1896. It is used for bridges. Its use for bridges is rare due to high costs compared to a triangulated truss. The utility of this type of structure in buildings is that a large amount of the exterior envelope remains unobstructed and can be used for windows and door openings. In some applications, this is preferable to a brace frame structure, which would leave some areas obstructed by the diagonal braces. The STC complex, the emphasis shifted to long span Virendale trusses running between the towers at every other floor. In the STC complex, which surely remains the most striking office building of Reval's career, Reval's career, 12 vertical towers grouped in pairs throughout extend beyond the face of the Virendale beams that span them. The complex in fact consists of two separate banks of offices rising to different heights, 29 floors in the first instance and 14 floors in the second. Even this distinction does not fully account for the complexity of the work, for the 15-story segment in fact comprises only of 7 floors carried on 4 Virendale trusses, just as the last 5 floors of the 29-story building are cantilevered out on Virendales running between the towers. Once again, the concrete structure is faced in sandstone, in this instance branded in two tones, red and beige. The red string courses picking out the floors in each of the vertical towers. The sandstone facing is also applied to the interior, and one of the most unusual aspects of the work is the way in which the geometrical form and the structure with its hexagonal voids is given a distinctly noble expression, particularly within the public foyer. This is a section of Hall of Nation. So if you look closely in this section, you can see the structure and you can see how the Vinny trusses have been cut over here. If you see on the left side, these are the vinyl trusses running, and you can see how they are running through it. So the answer is vinyl trusses. The trusses used in STC building by Rajrewal are called vinyl trusses. Last question of the day. The Imperial 3 Mumbai is the work of Foster Partners, Adrian Smith Gordon Gill Architecture, Perkins and Will, and MVRDB. Okay, there is some glitch, or my slide has been deleted by mistake. I added one slide talking about the Imperial 3 Mumbai and it is missing right now. So I'll just quickly talk about it and refer some of the Google pages for this and talk about it. So the answer is Adrian Smith and Gordon Gill Architecture. So as explained on their own website, it is 116 stories high with 400 meters tall. Imperial Tower was designed to be the tallest building in Mumbai and a prototype for a city. It is still an upcoming project for a city that is densely developed with low-rise buildings. The softly curvy linear form is aerodynamically shaped to confuse the wind. So this building has a curvy linear shape and it is aerodynamically shaped to confuse the wind, minimizing the negative effects of wind action on the tower. Wind vortex shedding is also mitigated by the north and south facing sky gardens, which break up the wind currents through the tower. So when you are constructing a high-rise building, wind is one of the most important things that you have to take in account, because wind creates a lot of different kinds of forces on the buildings and it can lead to swing. So there are always ways to tackle wind in high-rise towers. So that's what they have done. They have used a curvy linear form, aerodynamic form first, and second they have used sky gardens which break up the wind currents around the tower. And these sky gardens also provide access to light, views and connections to the natural world that are unprecedented in Mumbai. It's a 72,000 square meter tower and it includes 132 residential units. Of that are between 190 and they are in the size between 195 and 1115 square meters, and are serviced apartments between 72 and 252 square meters. Each of the upper story condominiums offers stunning views of the Arabian Sea. Architecturally, the exterior wall is a strong visual contrast to the heavy masonry cladding of the surrounding buildings. Highly sustainable, the facade blocks heat gain and diffuses direct sunlight in Mumbai's hot and humid climate. Imperial Tower has several key sustainability features. Water, as one of the region's most precious resources, is collected, treated and reused as grey water. Rainfall is also collected for reuse by residential units. High efficiency mechanical systems and the use of native plants in the green wall podium, grounds landscaping and sky gardens also add to the project's sustainable performance. So this is an upcoming project. It has not been completed yet and it will have a series. It's an aerodynamic form, curvy linear form, and it will have a series of terraces, and it is 400 meter high with 116 floors. And it is designed by the Chicago firm Adrian Smith and Gordon Gill Architecture. So that's our answer. If anybody has any questions, please ask. We'll stay in the call for 20-25 minutes. If anybody has any questions, please kindly ask. Or if anybody joins in between, they can ask their questions. as there are no questions from anyone, I will be ending the session now, and I will see you in the next week. Thank you.